Good morning and happy Friday, Robbinsdale. It's Miss Anderson and Chewie. It is Friday, April 17th, 2020, and I brought my dog Chewie with me today because she's actually the star of the book I will be reading for you called Chewie's Adventures in Petlandia. Before I read the book for you, I would like to do some birthday shout-outs. Unfortunately, today there aren't any birthdays from Robbinsdale students. However, I checked online and I saw that Victoria Beckham, who is one of the singers for the group the Spice Girls, is celebrating a birthday. She's also the wife of famous soccer player David Beckham. And actress Jennifer Garner is celebrating a birthday as well. And before I read this book, I want to tell you a little bit about it. Chewie's Adventures in Petlandia was actually a book my brother had personally made for me because he knew how much my dog Chewie meant. And so this book has the main character as Chewie, and another character is Lonnie, who's myself. And we both currently live in Black Hawk, South Dakota, so the beginning of the story actually takes place in Black Hawk as well. Chewie's Adventures in Petlandia is written by Steve Cleverly and illustrated by Katja Hammond. To Lonnie, may this book always be a reminder of how much you and Chewie adore each other. Chewie lived in Black Hawk and dreamt of being a star, with her very own TV show and chauffeur-driven car. But being cute and furry made stardom rather tough, especially as the only words she knew were woof and rough. Feeling brave, she folded up her PJs and a flannel, along with some ideas for her Chewie You Chew channel. Sneaking into Lonnie's room, she scrawled a doggy note, then kissed her gently on the cheek and went to get her coat. Scampering through the moonlit streets with thoughts of being wealthy, Chewie stopped beside a sign and thought, "I'll take a selfie." Pulling out her iPhone, she posed and took a snap, then headed to the airport while squinting at her map. Chewie was excited because she'd never flown before, unless you count that time she slammed a laptop on her paw. And as the plane took off, she thought of A-list hounds and mutts while trying to squish her nose into a teeny bag of nuts. When Chewie got to Hollywood, she set up several meets, but most of them went wrong because she tinkled on the seats. And even though she tried her best, the top dogs weren't impressed. "We've seen your act before, kid, and look at how you're dressed." With failure after failure, Chewie's confidence was shrinking. But then she saw a saxophone, which kind of got her thinking. "I need to learn some new tricks to really make me shine, and then I'll make some videos and post them all online." Woof, 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 woofity, woof, 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 bark, woof, woof, woof. P.S. Woof. Meanwhile, back in Black Hawk, Lonnie found a note. "My dog thinks she'll be famous? Oh, what a silly goat." But suddenly, she looked up and saw Chewie on the news. She'd become an online superstar with 50 million views. It seems dogs can learn new tricks, Lonnie thought out loud. And even though she missed her friend, she was also very proud. There was Chewie on a chat show, tootling away while teetering on a unicycle doing dog ballet. Soon the world was going wild for Chewie's jolly tunes. You could even buy a storybook and see her in cartoons. She bought a doggy mansion and a limo and a yacht. She even met the president and partied quite a lot. Other doggies lined up to shake Chewie by the paw, and scripts for pet-based movies came tumbling through the door. She'd sit and count her money while lounging on her throne. But when she wasn't working, she'd often be alone. Because she felt so lonely, Chewie bought more stuff. But even though she had it all, it was never quite enough. She tried some doggy yoga, which she thought might make her happy. But that just tied her up in knots and made her sore and snappy. Humph. Then, suddenly it hit her as she chewed her oldest bone. What Chewie wanted most was to be snuggled back at home. Yes, she'd miss her fancy life, the palm trees, and her chauffeur. But none of that compared to cuddling Lonnie on the sofa. She called off all her concerts and she gave away all her things. But all flights home were fully booked, so she clung onto the wings, hanging on for dear life as the plane took to the skies. Made Chewie think of Lonnie, and tears welled in her eyes. Soaring over Black Hawk, Chewie thought, I've had a hoot, but home is where the heart is, so I need to parachute. Fumbling in her suitcase, she found a sparkly gown, then used it as she leapt off to sort of slow her down. Tumbling through the fluffy clouds was really quite a rush, but Chewie had to slow down or soon she'd be doggy mush. Just then she saw a mattress dumped upon a roof, so she steered herself towards it and landed with a woof. Jumping into Lonnie's arms, Chewie cried with joy. Then Lonnie squeezed the squeaker in a squishy, squashy toy. Fame is pretty epic, but snuggling is the best, thought Chewie as she curled up to enjoy a well-earned rest. Miles away in Hollywoof, things were much the same, and countless pets arrived each day to search for wealth and fame. They often spoke about that dog who played the saxophone, and how she left it all behind because she missed her home. But Chewie wasn't bothered that she'd given fame the shove, because her trip had taught her that what really counts is love. The end. I hope you enjoyed my story today, Chewie's Adventures in Petlandia. I hope you all are staying safe, washing your hands, and to those of you I got to see at the parade on Wednesday, it was amazing to see you even from afar. I miss you all so very much, and I wish you well. Have a good weekend, and take care.